Hi there, Taurus, and welcome to your final forecast of the year. This is for the month of December, and you can use it as always for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. I love this time of the year because it gives us a chance to kind of wrap up on all of our goals, our aspirations for the year, and also take a peek into the energy for the next year. Just a quick note that I will be doing a special January New Year's live feed. It seemed like a lot of you enjoyed the last live feed that I did. We'll take a look at the energy of the year, see what's coming in for the different signs, and maybe have some time for some discussion at the end. With all of that being said, why don't we get into the forecast? If you're brand new, I'd just like to extend a welcome and say thank you for joining me, and an extra special thank you for everybody who's been coming back from month to month for the past several years. For the new folks, here's the format. I start with some channeled information. I move along to a Celtic cross looking at the energy of the month, and then I expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Just a quick note that if you like what you see here and you'd like to support it, I'm going to put some information at the bottom. I'll go into that again at the end and let you know how that makes a difference. But basically, your support helps me have more time here to do the things that you like, which is forecasts like this and some of the live feeds and some of the other things that I've been talking about. So if you feel compelled and would like to join in, the information's here. Let's go ahead now and focus on your channeled information. Every month, I like to start off by selecting a deck of cards, and before I hit the record button, I meditate and I see what kind of information comes through in the form of images, sounds, or feelings that I get. When I was doing that for you, I saw water flowing, and really I ascribe that to an energetic flow, and the important thing for you is to kind of get out of the way of blocking that flow this month. Sometimes we are too much in our heads. We know that something should go a certain way and we overthink it. Other times we feel compelled to do something, but we don't honor that feeling, that intuition, the gut that we talk about so often. Sometimes you can just sort of think, okay, I'm going to do this even though I know I should be doing this. Follow the inner knowing, follow the energetic flow that's naturally guiding you through the universe. If you ever look at any of the ace cards in Rider-Waite, you'll notice that there's a hand usually pushing or showing or giving something to an unseen recipient. That's you. That's what you kind of want to meditate on this month, is to be in that place of receiving, honoring, and going with the flow. Okay, let's now take a look at the cards and see what they have to say for this month. A reminder that at this point, I like to remain quiet just so that I can observe the positions and also get information as I look at the cards. I'll join you again after I've shuffled and laid everything out. I like to also pull one more card. This is something I call a catalyst. If this is your roadmap, this is sort of like a key to help you understand how it connects, how to maximize the opportunity, how to reduce some of the risks. All right. So let's turn the camera up and discuss what's in front of us here. As you can see with this card, Maud is symbolic of fairness. Her feather was something with which your heart was weighed at the time of death, at least in Egyptian mythology, to decide what kind of a life you lived. And this card this month is really asking you that question, or encouraging you to ask it to yourself. Am I happy with the decisions I'm making? Does this feel right? Is it just? Is it fair? What you want to do this month is remember that fairness isn't only how you treat others, but also giving yourself the benefit of the doubt, sometimes not being such a harsh critic on yourself. And the inverse, like I said, is if you feel that there's something you need to do, need to change, even if it's the hard thing to do, if it's the right thing, then this card is reminding you to honor that. So much like I was saying the flow earlier, this is also about understanding that sometimes you just have to do what you're guided or shown that you must do. So be fair to yourself, be fair to others. Sometimes that change is easy, sometimes it's difficult. The important thing is that you are, at the end of the day, going to be able to sleep a lot better with yourself, knowing that the decision is sound and that there's nothing that you have to regret or to change. The center card here is all about partnerships. It is reversed, but the card is a positive card. It's the Lovers. I've noticed in a few signs that relationships have taken a central seat in the month of December. Not too surprising since we have holiday events. It's often a month when people get back together. There might be a little bit of difficulty for some of you in either reconciling differences or seeing eye to eye. This card is an encouragement and also an acknowledgement of those two things, but there's much more to be gained by support, by forgiveness, by seeing the similarities than by focusing on either the past or the differences. That's the challenge, that's the opportunity this month. The bright side of that is once you've overcome it, you're really sitting in a place of love rather than feeling that tension. Control issues are going to be the key dynamic that might be separating you from people that you love or making it harder to love people around you. So this card is encouraging you to kind of take a look at, do you really need to win a certain sort of argument, or can you find a middle ground in things? So allowing sometimes the other party to feel like they're winning or that you're winning, knowing that there's truly never a winner and a loser. It's just sort of about where you need to be energetically and how much you want to fight for certain things. That compromise that you could accomplish this month, a better word for it could be harmony, finding a place where you're happy, the other person's happy. So there are choices there. Again, if there's something that is just intrinsically right or wrong, you're going to have to allow that to be your sort of compass. But if there are areas where you feel like this isn't as important to me as it is to this person, I'm going to allow them to take that lead or take that energy. It's going to free you up. It's going to allow you to focus your energy on other things rather than that sort of tug of war. In a lot of decks, you'll see this card illustrated with a chariot and two horses. And the key thing here is that you get further by working together than by trying to go in opposite directions. It creates a stalemate. As I look at things that are contributing to where you are at the moment, it's important for you to not get involved in two things. Doubting yourself or second guessing maybe what has happened, why you are where you are, and also trying not to worry too much about what other people are saying or thinking around you. The work in and of itself is what's important for you to focus on this month. Those other things, while it is important to understand context and how you got to where you're at, worrying about what others are thinking or second guessing yourself in the decisions that you're making for the future, they're just counterproductive and counter to that flow of energy that I talked about earlier. Find something that is going to open you up creatively this month. If you're feeling stifled, some of this is about not overly editing yourself before you've had a chance to just sort of get it out of your system. So for those of you that are creative, just put things to paper, to a digital format, whatever, just kind of like let it come through you as a channel. For those of you that aren't creative, this still has to do, like if you're a manager or if you're just trying to organize your family and everything that's going on, this is about allowing for your ideas to just get out there, also receiving other people's input before shutting down. And the main thing here is it needs to feel good for you, it needs to feel good for others, so being a good listener and then also trusting yourself, because your own feeling of what you're communicating, the passion, the doubt, whatever it is, that's absolutely going to color how other people receive it. So if you're in a place of joy, if you're in a place of allowing things to just be, other people aren't going to judge it as harshly or meet it with as much criticism. I want you to take time this month for just quiet, solitude, rest. This is also a common theme that I'm seeing in December. Meditation, yoga, fantastic ways to do this. The other thing is acknowledging that one of the things that you're going to have to navigate this month are procedures, bureaucracy, paperwork. And rather than feeling this sense of being blocked or failing because you have to go through all of this, just see them as necessary components to an end game or an end product. So for you this month, trying to find that peace and tranquility and understanding that there's going to, for some of you, be a waiting period before you get what you want. What's important also this month is sharing the load. And I have this Queen of Pentacles card in reverse, which often is about self-development or focusing on one's own needs, which on a bright sort of side is about, this is a good time for you to learn new things, go back to school, decide to maybe take in or solicit some criticism to figure out how to be better at whatever you want to do. The flip side is feeling like everything is happening to you rather than for you, And what I want you to do is just receive the feedback, receive the information, let the judgment just sort of sit for a little bit before you attach to it or express it. And also, if there are people around you that are offering to give assistance, or lend assistance, I should say, allow them. This card is reminding you that sometimes when you relinquish a hold on things, again, we're looking at two cards here that are telling the same story, a control card and one where you feel like you have to do it all yourself. Sometimes it's better if you don't. Sometimes it's better if you share. In the sharing, other people feel like they're part of it, and you can create something more beautiful as a team. And that's really what the hidden blessing is this month, is when you release the control, people are there to assist. It's not a competition, it's a group effort. You all succeed in the end. This is a good month for generation of new ideas. Part of the reason I'm trying to get you outside of this feeling of being blocked or feeling like you have to hold on to things is once you open up, once you let go, then the channel of energy allows you to receive new ideas, new dreams, new inspiration, new insights. So you're in a really great place this month for starting new projects, for wrapping up old projects, and also for planting seeds. I love the Three of Wands. It shows typically whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you have a really good chance of having that come to fruition. It's also one step away from Four of Wands, which is teamwork. And that's why I keep kind of putting this emphasis on group. And your center card was the Lovers. So power in numbers. Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, Three of Wands leading into Four of Wands, people, partnership. This month, what I want you to focus on is managing your own affairs, trying not to get too involved in other people's business that was in your environment. So what it's really saying this month is, if people ask for your insight, absolutely lend it. If not, your energy, your time, also just your heart is going to be better spent on feeling good about your life, planting those seeds that are going to grow in the spring months around April. That stuff is going to be better. And what you don't want to do this month, this is your outcome card, and it's completely mutable and avoidable if you follow some of the tips that I've given you thus far, is to try to avoid unnecessary arguments. Avoid situations where someone is so closed off. We've all had those people in our lives where they aren't listening, they aren't open, they aren't ready to hear what you want to say. This would be a better time for you to instead focus on work that matters, people that want to work with you, and then again, that development, that incubation period for the new ideas. Doing this is going to allow you to feel a lot better about how far you've come and avoid this unnecessary argument that could happen. For some of you, that card shows a punctuated end to a situation in your life, often a situation that might be difficult. So if you've been trying to get over some sort of an illness, this can show an end to the suffering. It can also show an end of a relationship that wasn't suiting you. So it can be a breakup card, it can be a final stage of something that you've been working or struggling with, and a final release. So the release can be a cathartic release, it can be a positive release. It can also, for some of you, indicate difficulty in your body where you realize there's only so much you can do with something. And what's important here is then to focus on other things that you can put your energy into. So rather than it being a card of feeling like you're failing or feeling hurt, it can be a card where you decide, I'm done now with this. I want to put my energy into something better. This absolutely is encouraging all of you to take better care of yourselves this month, making sure that you're getting enough sleep. If there's any part of your body that is feeling pain, chronic pain, or fatigue, this card can indicate a need for you to work with a specialist to really just take some time off. So at least a week if you have some time saved up. This is a good time for many of you. I know that back when I used to work in a corporation, they encouraged and sometimes even required us to get that time off the books. So if you've been saving up your vacation, even if you don't know what to do with it, take it now. Just rest, do a staycation, or do something close by and decide, I'm not going to overwork myself. I'm going to honor my need to recuperate, to replenish. You're going to be so much more productive for this time that you take off, and you might be able to avoid an exacerbation of whatever this is here. Okay, let's go ahead and expand the forecast. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning first with your health message this month. Let me give it a shuffle and see what's coming through for you. All right, your health message this month is to start something now. So rather than waiting for a New Year's resolution, most of you will be watching this in the first or second weeks of December. Even if you're watching it at the end, this message holds true. Don't delay. And I really think this has to do with diet, health, well-being. A lot of times we wait for something to happen in our lives to push us into action. This card is saying, take action now. Don't worry about waiting for something in the future. If you start now, you're going to have this ability to get much further, much faster. And maybe what you needed was the push of this message right now, okay? So this is the time to create better habits, to start new things, and particularly in regards to your diet, your health, and how you want to take care of yourself. Let's make 2019 even better than what 2018 was. Let's look now at wealth. Knowing that wealth isn't just money, it's also our relationship with how we feel about ourselves, how open we are to receiving, etc. The message for wealth this month is to believe in a possibility for a miraculous change. So this is about changing your internal frequency to something different, to something hopefully higher. You know, for those of you that might be receiving news that you don't want to hear at the end of the month. This could be, like I said, a breakup, an end of an assignment at work, some of you even losing a job, despite the fact that it's a holiday season for many of you. This is showing that there's more of a divine hand at work. I mentioned all of those ace cards, whether it's swords or pentacles or anything. You'll always see a hand pushing or giving or kind of moving things. I want you to feel that this nudge that you're getting this month, and I think for many of you it is to release a cycle that is no longer productive. It's a good thing. So cut your losses this month. If you're in a place of debt, since we're looking at finances, or if you're feeling exhausted from the energy that you're putting into something. When I look at finances or money, it can also be resources. So it can even be about a relationship in your life. It's not worth the investment. This is saying that releasing that and believing that something better is on the horizon, that's going to open you up to that miracle. You have to believe for something to come to you. If you don't believe, or if you believe that it's not possible, you're creating that self-perpetuating energy. So know that however challenging or great the change is right now, go with it. Know that it's going to lead to even better things in the future. It's just not easy to see it sometimes as you're going through it. The other thing, before I move on to love, with the wealth card this month, we look at this wish, this dream, this idea, and then I was talking about the Three of Wands, which is showing that this is the germination and development stage. I want you to not let go of that idea before you give it a chance to grow. Nurture it. That's really what this Miracles card is saying. All right. Let's now take a look at love. Love is not just about your romantic relationships. It's about friendships. It's about all sorts of interpersonal relationships in your life. The note this month for love is to follow your third eye. We have psychic insight here, and Odin, who I believe in mythology lost an eye, but also ironically gained a lot of insight through that loss. This is about not paying attention to the distractions of the physical or material world. It's about tuning in to all of the insight that I was talking about that wants to come through to you, to be a clear channel. Ironically, when I had my accident a month ago and I kind of got a bang to the head, my intuition was increased because I was kind of taken out of the moment. I had to focus on other things. I had to focus internally. I had to tune into my body, and I noticed all of a sudden that I was more psychically aware. Sometimes when we get out of our body or when we have something that makes us shift our focus, it's so much stronger, the information that we're receiving. So with your relationships this month, I want you to go with the first thing that you're feeling in your heart space, in your third eye, or just the first thing that you hear whispered into your intuition. It depends on how you receive it. But I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but sometimes it can happen before you meet a soulmate, a best friend, a lover. You get this feeling when you see them or when you're talking to them. It's the butterflies. It's this feeling like this is going to be something important. Honor that when you feel it. You might also feel the same thing for adversaries that you've felt in your life, or enemies. When they come into your life, you get that sense of, uh-oh, this is going to be difficult. What am I going to do? I want you to sense that as it's happening, because what it's going to allow you to do is not go into that fight or flight mode when you're in the face of challenge, and embrace the sort of love opportunities that come your way, because Lovers was right at the center. This is a great month for you to either dig deeper and to heal some wounds in an existing relationship, or to meet new people. But there's a challenge this month to let go of the control issues that you might be feeling, and to just let love come to you. All right, let's look now at destiny. Destiny, of course, being the GPS, if you will, of where you're headed. It's not so much set in stone. This message is saying, are you happy with where you're going? If so, good. If not, this gives you a chance to course correct. So let's take a look, and we'll see what your destiny message is. For destiny, we have having the ability this month to hopefully come to a place where you trust yourself. And the decisions, this is very much like a Two of Swords card. I mentioned earlier, there is no win or lose, really. Everything that we call into our life is here because of things that we need to learn. So one thing that you can do this month to help yourself is to be in a place of feeling good about who you are, what you have to give to the universe. I say that because when you don't feel good about who you are, then you bring in people that are teachers. They could be teachers in your romantic relationships, in your familial bonds, or any sort of person that comes into your life. So if you don't feel good about where you are right now, then focus less on the relationships around you. Focus more on healing yourself. Whether that means, going back to school, talking to someone who can help you through this, like counseling, or deciding that you just want to develop certain sides of yourself more. Finding that sense of that you are enough, you're more than enough, being whole, so that as you go into future situations in your life, work, love, money, you're going to be calling in other people who are also feeling whole and complete. This is the difference, the paradigm shift of, I don't need someone to complete me. I'm looking for a partner, for someone who can champion what I'm doing in whatever walk of life, and vice versa. I want to give back too. So we're walking away from this missing piece idea that was very 20th century, and now feeling more that we can be twin stars, that like binary stars in the universe that both shine brightly. That's what you need to do. Trust yourself. Then you're not going to be at this wall of indecision, because everything in front of you is an opportunity, and all you have to decide is, what do I want to do next? And if you can't right now, then what I want you to do is to focus on meditating. Remember the things that inspired you as a child. Think of the first thing that you want to do when you wake up in the morning. Positive, something fun. And I want you to start to cultivate these things in your life. Eventually, you're not going to be at this state of worrying so much about others, worrying so much about how you're being perceived. Nurture and cultivate yourself, and I think that's going to be key. There were a lot of pieces that came through in that last one, but I think it was important to go through that. Let's go ahead now and review everything that we talked about, just to bring a sort of more of a razor sharp focus. As I said at the beginning when I was tuning into your sign, flow of energy, flow of love, flow of intuition, that's the key this month. Things want to come to you. The question is, do you want to receive them? Do what's right. Do what's fair. This is going to help you sleep at night. It's also going to help you make some of these tough decisions. If it feels right, do it. If it doesn't, don't. Don't overthink it. Don't get in the way of yourself. Sometimes it is that simple, and we simply overthink. I mentioned at the beginning that relationships really want to come through for you. There's a challenge here of tug of war. Try to find that happy space where both of you, it's kind of like a Venn diagram, you're finding that commonality rather than focusing on what's pulling you apart. Try to trust yourself. Don't focus too much on past failures or heartache. This is a time to celebrate new things. Engage in creative flow this month. Write, paint, dance, talk, finger paint. I don't care, but you want to let things get out in a way that's non-judgmental. Also, keeping an open mind this month is a common theme here as we look at the Page of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands. All great cards for business and management, all reversed. Trust yourself and just allow for things to develop. It would be better this month to do more listening and to do more thinking than to sort of kind of like act without doing that. It's important for you just to allow things to come through. This is the point of being in that place of flow. So I want you, if nothing else, when you're meditating, to just think, I am ready. I'm ready for abundance in all forms, in love, in light, in abundance, in finance, etc. All opportunities, allow them to come to you this month. Know that when we look at teamwork, that's where the strength really shines, with the Lovers, with the Three of Wands, with the Three of Pentacles. Take care of your body, heal yourself, good time for massage, great time for getting more rest, more nutrition. Some of you may be having back pains this month or chronic health issues. Honor that, take some time off, and know that once you allow for that healing to happen, you're going to have more to give to yourself and others. Speaking of health, don't delay in making those positive changes in your life. With your money, believe that whatever changes that are happening for the better, and believe that something better is along in the horizon for you. Focus on your third eye and on how you feel, not on necessarily what people are projecting to you. Projections are just that. Sometimes they're illusions. Focus on your self-development this month, knowing that when you feel complete and whole, you no longer really worry about the decisions. You're going to be attracting better opportunities, and you won't be feeling this sort of Two of Swords moment that we see here. So that brings your monthly reading to a close. If you'd ever like to chat with me a little bit more in depth about something that's going on in your life, I'm here for you, and you can check out rates and availability in the first link. I also have some unique things on my site this month where you can give a gift certificate or gift card to someone else if you want to give the gift of insight. So that's something to think about. Speaking of giving back, if you would like to support what you see here, the best way to do that is to join me on Patreon or to give a one-time donation through my website. So know that this goes directly into buying cool cards like this, and more importantly, into setting up the time for the readings that you see here, because I work just like you, and when I get all the donations, I can figure out how many days per month I can donate to this sort of endeavor. So the more you give, the more I give, and it works out nicely. If you'd like to simply kind of connect with me in a way that supports but doesn't require money, please subscribe to the channel, like these videos, and comment. All of that stuff keeps this channel alive and well, lets me know that I'm making a difference. Opt into the bell notification too, so that you know when I upload videos. One of the most common questions is sort of like, when are you going to post new videos? If you do that, you're going to get an email. You'll know immediately. Speaking of emails, you can join my newsletter, and also please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I post when the new videos are up each month there, and that's a great way to stay in touch. So there are 3 links under the video. Each one of those will bring you to how to get in touch on all of those levels that I just mentioned. That would be the 3rd link for social media. Finally, I like to end everything with gratitude, heartfelt gratitude for the work that you're doing on your own journey. That's really the reason I'm here each month. I think it's the reason that you show up as well, to kind of get a key for what's next, what to expect. So this month, I think that the important thing is to get out of the way of what wants to come through for you. And in doing so, you're going to allow the helpers, the love, the energy that wants to sort of support you this month to come through for you. And maybe you can be that for other people in your life, because it is about giving and receiving. And when you give, you also open your heart space up, especially when it's unconditional gifting or loving or sort of reparation for the world and the universe. So do an act of kindness. Allow for someone to do the same for you. If we all did that, honestly, this planet would light up with light, and that's why we're here again from month to month. So do your part in making this a brighter, lighter world. I thank you for being here. You've already lightened my world by doing that. Wishing you the best always, especially through this holiday season. I'll be back again in January, again with a live feed. More to come on that. Take care of yourselves. Thank you again. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.